wrestling fans.
I'm your host, Ace Dalton, and thank you for joining us here on TCW Tonight.
Actually, folks, I'm your host, Scott Stevens, and we'd like to welcome you to TCW Tonight.
How's it possible, Windbag? It's been a week, and this studio still frickin' reeks of Vienna sausages and hot sauce.
Yeah, well, that smells better than what you just sprayed. Fans, welcome to TCW Tonight, episode 4. This beside me, of course, is the manager of monsters, Mr. Ace Dalton, and I am your host, Scott Stevens. We are bringing you finally an interview with Ace Dalton and William Buchanan III. Speaking of which, not here yet. Thought he would be here to begin this show.
Not a problem.
So since he's not here, let me ask you a question.
Fire away, Windbag.
You told me, you said in the last episode that I could ask anything I wanted to ask. So why don't you take time now to explain to the wrestling fans what your exact relationship is with William Buchanan III.
You know what, Scott? That's why we wanted you back, because you asked the good, hard-hitting questions, man. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to answer that question. Me and Willie B3, our relationship, our business relationship is on an as-you-need-to-know basis. And right now, Windbag, your ass don't need to know.
Okay, but episode 3, you said you would answer anything. I could ask anything and you would answer it.
And I just answered it.
Okay, so let me put it to you this way. Are the two of you running TCW, excuse me, let me put it a different way. Are the two of you watching TCW crumble around your feet?
Crumble around our feet? What are you talking about, crumble around our feet?
Well, we don't have a wrestling show. We don't have. We'll get to that later. I'm asking, is it crumbling?
No, there's no crumbling here.
Right,
no
so
crumbling.
You said with the two of you at the helm last week. This is what you said. With the two of you at the helm, you would rule wrestling in the Shenandoah Valley.
Correct.
And you still believe that?
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Then where is William Buchanan III?
Now, why are you so worried about Willie B3?
Because you said he would be here.
Willie B3 should be here anytime now. Anytime now. There you go, Windbag.
Hello, sir.
Are you happy?
Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good to see you, baby.
William Buchanan III has arrived.
See, I told you. Look, just like I said last week. You, me, and Willie B, baby. Ha! How about them apples, huh?
All right. Let's get right to the question, since this is our first face-to-face meeting, Mr. Buchanan. I would like to know what prompted you to start TCW. That's the first question. Let's start at the beginning.
That's a great question. Glad you asked. It all started on July 1st in Weirs Cave, Virginia. I swear I said this last week, but I digress. Mr. Buchanan sat front row to a great show. Willie B grew up being a huge wrestling fan. And everything he saw on July 1st really just said, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to do something that I love. So after that, what do you say? After that group disbanded?
Yes, it was disbanded.
So poetic, you know, just beating around the bush and, you know, all that stuff is adorable. I love it when you do that. But, you know, he gave me a call up and he said, Ace, you seem to have your head wrapped around this pro wrestling thing. Let's me and you do something. So that's what we did. Okay,
so I appreciate you taking the time to answer that question.
I said we would answer any questions.
I thought I asked Mr. Buchanan. So, Mr. Buchanan, if you could please tell us what really stood out at that July 1st show that caused you to want to spend some money to create TC. Excuse me.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, Mr. Buchanan, what really stood out at that July 1st show that caused you to want to start TCW?
Everything stood out, Windbag. I mean, you know, you had a top-of-the-line production.
Look, I don't mean to interrupt you, Ace, but I asked the question to him. You told me.
Did?
Yeah, you told me he was going to answer my questions. You're answering my questions. He's not.
No.
And he's the man that hired me.
I get that. I get that. But you need to go back. Did you watch last week's interview? I said you can come here, and me and Willie B3 would be here, and you could ask any questions you wanted to ask.
Okay.
I didn't say he would answer them.
You said that I would get answers.
And I'm giving you answers. No. And you do deserve it. That's why we are sitting here right now giving you answers.
Okay, I'm sitting here in a cloud of smoke getting answers from you. What I want to know is, why is he not telling me the answers?
You want to know why Willie B3's not talking?
Yes.
I mean, it could be tons of things. I mean, it could be, you know, he's working a strong but silent type gimmick, or maybe he's got laryngitis, or maybe even, maybe he don't like you, Scott. Did you ever think about that? It's possible for people not to like you.
The man offered me a job.
He did.
Well, I would assume he'd like me if he offered me a job.
Well, not necessarily. There's people out there in this business, especially, that are very, very good at what they do. But that doesn't mean people like them.
Are you ribbing me again? He's just not going to answer any of my questions.
Scott, for goodness sakes, you want answers. We're giving you answers. If I say anything that is inaccurate, I'm sure Willie B3 will stand up and set me straight.
Okay, excuse me, sir. I'm choking on this cigar smoke. Would you mind, please, putting out the cigar so I can conduct this interview?
Just put it out so Scott can have his healthy lungs. Secondhand smoke is a big killer, though. You're right.
It is. Let's move on. The tagline.
Better? It's Crisp Waters Glade Spray. They're not a sponsor, but if you're interested, feel free to message us on Facebook.
Listen, the tagline underneath the TCW logo reads, Serious Legit Wrestling. Can you explain why you came up with that tagline? What does Serious Legit Wrestling actually mean?
It's pretty simple, Scott. If you look around professional wrestling, especially the indies, man, there's a lot of good companies out there, and I'm going to stand, okay? You had to put it out.
Thank you.
There's a lot of good companies around, man. There's you can sit here and pop a few off like this, that, and the other, but there's a lot of crap, man. There really is a lot of crap, especially right here in the Shenandoah Valley, dude. And when we sit here and we say serious, legit wrestling, that's what we mean, man. It was a year ago. I went to a show out of complete and total boredom at Spotswood High School, and I have never been so embarrassed to be a pro wrestling fan in my life, Scott. There's a mark in me still to this day, and it hurts me as a mark, as a performer, as a fan, to see the crap that some of these guys are putting out. Are you okay? It's not lit, you know that. It's a disgrace. So when we say serious, legit wrestling, is that better? Here, understand, it's not a big deal. It's your studio anyway. That's exactly what we want to bring. If you're going to spend, as a wrestling fan, if you're going to spend your hard-earned money to come to a show, you deserve to see a quality wrestling product. Whether your favorite time frame was, the NWA in the 80s or WCW in the early 90s or even ECW or the Attitude Era, you got a quality product, and that's why people fall in love with wrestling. And to go to these shows now and give some jabroni $10, some clueless promoter who's got a bunch of kids, bona fide backyarders working for a hot dog and maybe a slice of pizza, and in those kids' defense, they're trying. They have a dream, but they have no business doing that, and the promoter has no business taking advantage of them or the fans, and that's what's happening. So when we say serious, legit wrestling, what me and Willie B3 are talking about is we're going to bring professional wrestling to where a fan can sit there, and when it's all said and done and he gets in his car and he goes, you know what, that was $10 or $15 I'm glad I spent. And whether or not you like me or not, if you can't get down with that, I don't know what to tell you. If you can't respect serious, legit professional wrestling,
Okay.
why are you a fan?
A great explanation of what serious, legit wrestling means.
It was pretty cool.
Last week's episode, you leaned in and you did this. One of the things that you like about Willie B3, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You did that. He's got a little cash.
He does.
So cash doesn't get you everything in indie wrestling.
No.
You got to have a promoter's license. You got to have a roster, and most importantly, you got to have a show.
Mm-hmm.
So TCW, is there a show booked? Are we ready to go? Do we have a promoter's license in the state of Virginia? Can we book? What's going on there?
Well, Scott, this has been the headache. Yeah. This has been the headache that we've been dealing with. To answer your questions in this order, is TCW licensed by the state of Virginia to promote a wrestling show?
Is Willie B3 licensed in the state of Virginia?
Scott, I'm not trying to strong arm you here, but his name's William Buchanan III.
Well, you referred to him.
Yeah, I refer to him if we're kind of tight,
Okay. Okay.
Somebody
I'll call you whatever you like, sir.
Too comfortable.
All right. Okay. is Mr. Buchanan licensed to promote in the state of Virginia?
Traditional championship wrestling has a promoter's license.
And a show booked and a wrestling roster?
The roster is on lockdown. The show, the venue, booked, that's a gray area. I'm not going to sit here and bullcrap the fans. I'm not going to bullcrap you. These same promoters that I just talked about have made it extremely difficult to get people to take professional wrestling serious anymore. These guys have gone in there and damaged gym floors in high schools. They've lied to the people that were either sponsoring them or allowing them to come into their venue. I can sit here and say this, right now the venue is the only thing that's holding us up. Yes, we got some leads, yes, we got some conversations happening. That's all we need. And the moment we get that venue locked down, full throttle.
Okay, so let me ask this question. If Mr. Dalton is working with you, Mr. Buchanan, is he going to be allowed to be on the roster, or is he administration?
I am free to do whatever I see fit.
A lot of people are not going to find that fair.
A lot of people may not find that fair. We, the people that matter, don't care.
Okay, so we don't know if there's a show booked. We don't know about venues. We're having a hard time with that, I guess, I take from what you say.
It's a little difficult.
Let's talk about talent. Is there anybody, you say they're on lockdown. Is there any name you'd like to release? Is there anybody that you know is on the roster? Any of your monsters that you manage?
What I will say is this. We have been in contact with talent. They are sitting ready to go. I will say that if you were on the July 1st, saw the July 1st show, there will be some talent from that show used. There will be a lot of talent from that show not used.
Are you ready to confirm or deny if Maryland Hall of Famer Rip Sawyer is on that roster?
Who?
You know exactly who I'm talking about. Maryland Hall of Famer Rip Sawyer. Is he on the roster for TCW Wrestling?
Oh, the guy that did the Gilbert gimmick with the No, we're not using Gilbert.
No, not Gilbert. Rip Sawyer. Woodshed. Does that bring that back a memory? The Woodshed?
Woodshed? Not ringing any bells.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll contact him and I'll find out myself. Okay?
Touchy.
The two of you, I'm taking it that you are telling the fans tonight that you want to provide a great wrestling product for them to spend their hard-earned money to come see. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And they're supposed to just believe that.
Yeah.
Okay? And you can't tell them when the show's going to happen, when that product's going to be available, or when they can spend their hard-earned money.
No.
So until then, they just have to tune in to TCW Tonight until that happens.
Yes.
It's like pulling teeth. Okay. Is it fair to say that when that happens, you will announce it here on TCW Tonight?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yes.
Okay, with these short answers, I don't have anything else to ask you. Anything else you want to say to the wrestling fans?
Fans, I give you my word. We are sitting here promising you a quality product. You will get a quality product. Once we get through the red tape, it's the only thing stopping us. But I'd like to turn the tables on you. Mr. Stevens, how is it possible that we have sprayed Glade crisp waters and Willie B3 has been puffing on a cigar for dang near 15 minutes, but still the stench of Vienna sausages and hot sauce just bombarded this studio?
Yeah, that's great. Okay, fans, you see what I have to deal with. We're back at it once again. I don't know what to tell you. Was this a true interview? Mr. Buchanan didn't say a word.
Crisp waters, Glade.
Ace did all
Get
the
you a
talking.
can.
We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
It's delicious.